the Golden Age of Andalusia, when the world woke each morning to the sound of prayer and poetry, there lived a man whose eyes were fixed not on the earth, but on the sky. His name was Abbas Ibn Firnas, a scholar, inventor, musician, and poet. But deep within his heart, he carried a dream far greater than any science of his time, the dream to fly. While others studied the stars to understand them, he studied them to join them. In the streets of Córdoba, children whispered his name as the man who wants to touch the heavens. People laughed, some admired, some doubted, but Abbas smiled quietly. He believed that the same God who gave man the mind to think gave him the wings of imagination to rise. The journey of the world's first dream of flight had just begun. Abbas Ibn Firnas was not just a dreamer. He was a thinker, a doer. By day, he studied the stars, measured their movements, and sketched designs inspired by the flight of birds. By night, he experimented with gliders and winged apparatuses, testing materials, shapes, and mechanics in secret. He observed the world with extraordinary curiosity. Every bird in the sky, every gust of wind, every fluttering leaf was a lesson. Though some mocked him, Abbas persisted, for he knew that true invention is born from patience, courage, and vision. The dream of soaring above the earth was no longer just imagination. It was a plan, a purpose, a calling. After years of careful observation, Abbas was ready to test his invention. On a windy day, atop a hill outside Córdoba, he fastened his wings to his arms and took a deep breath. The villagers watched, some laughing, others curious, as he ran and leapt into the air. For a few fleeting moments, he soared, gliding, almost flying, before gravity reclaimed him. He fell, bruised and tired, yet his eyes sparkled with triumph. Failure did not stop him. Each attempt was a lesson, each bruise a badge of courage. Abbas Ibn Firnas was not just a man trying to fly. He was a pioneer, daring to turn. After months of trial and error, Abbas finally made modifications to his wings, adjusting the angles, strengthening the frame, and studying the winds more carefully. On a bright morning, he climbed the hill again, villagers gathering with cautious hope. He leapt with more confidence this time, and the wings held steady. For several precious seconds, he glided farther than before, skimming over the grass with surprising control. Cheers erupted, yet Abbas remained calm, studying each movement and landing with meticulous attention. He realized the true lesson. Innovation demands patience, courage, and the willingness to learn from every attempt. In that moment, Abbas Ibn Firnas became not just a dreamer, but a symbol of human ingenuity. A man ahead of his time, daring to touch the skies. Word of Abbas' experiments spread across the village, and soon a larger crowd gathered, curious and skeptical. He wore his simple linen tunic, reinforced leather straps around his chest and arms to secure the wings. His turban was tied firmly, shadows falling across his determined face. On a sunlit morning, Abbas climbed the familiar hill, wings glinting with polished wood and stitched silk. The crowd held their breath as he took a running start, leapt, and soared farther than anyone had imagined. Children pointed, elders whispered in awe, and even the village skeptics could not hide their astonishment. It was more than a flight. It was a glimpse into the impossible, a testament to human courage and vision. Abbas' dream was now a shared marvel, inspiring hearts young and old. News of Abbas Ibn Firnas' flight spread beyond Córdoba. through the streets, the markets, and finally to the halls of learning. The scholars who once doubted him now invited him to the grand court of the emir. He entered not as a noble or a warrior, but as a humble seeker of knowledge. His robe was simple, woven beige cotton, his turban neat, his hands calloused from endless labor. Before the emir, he spoke softly. Knowledge is not for pride. It is for the benefit of all mankind. The court fell silent. For the first time, men of power bowed their heads to a man of ideas. The emir smiled, granting Abbas the title of Hakim al-Andalus, the wise of Andalusia. As he stepped out of the court, sunlight fell across his face. Warm, golden, eternal. His dream had taken flight, and so had the spirit of curiosity that would one day inspire the world to touch the skies. Years passed, and Abbas Ibn Firnas grew older, his beard now white as desert sand, his hands trembling, but his eyes still bright with wonder. He no longer climbed towers or built wings, yet his spirit still soared higher than any bird. Children gathered outside his home, listening to his stories of stars, of inventions, of dreams that defied gravity itself. He would smile and tell them, "Never fear the unknown, for Allah gave us minds to explore, not to be silent." When the day of his final rest came, Córdoba mourned not just a man, but an era of courage, wisdom, and imagination. They buried him under the open sky he once tried to conquer. Above his grave, a falcon circled, as if paying tribute to the first man who dared to fly. Centuries later, his dream lived on, in the wings of gliders, in the engines of planes, in the hearts of all who looked up and wondered, what if? Abbas Ibn Firnas, the man who taught humanity to look up. Centuries have passed since Abbas Ibn Firnas spread his wings over Córdoba, but his spirit still soars in every jet that crosses the sky, in every dreamer who dares to rise above fear. He taught the world that faith and science are not enemies. They are two wings of the same bird, lifting humanity toward truth. When the world said, "It's impossible," he whispered, "Try." And that whisper became the roar of engines, the hum of rockets, the heartbeat of progress. So whenever you look up at the sky, remember the man who once leapt from a tower, not to fall, but to teach us all how to fly. Because those who dare to dream never truly fall. They rise forever.